This is an issue. It's the Southern Poverty Law Center. I think most of you are aware of this. They have classified the American Family Association as a hate group.
I'm sure that the majority of true Christians would not see that as a Christ-like response to something that he objects to.
This morning here on Top Story, Idaho LGBT activist Jody May-Chang. She's taking on Bryan Fischer with the American Family Association because of some things that Bryan Fischer has said. Jody, I want to welcome you to Top Story this morning.
Thank you, Kelly, for the invitation.
I have some cuts here from Bryan Fischer. See what he has to say, and then we'll talk about it.
From the time of the founding until late in the 20th century, a homosexual sexual activity was a felony offense in the United States of America. Is no reason why it cannot be a criminal offense once again.
He doesn't just attack gay people, although we're probably his favorite subject. Years ago, when he was a pastor of Community Church of the Valley, he excommunicated a woman for getting a divorce. I don't know the details of her marriage, but there's lots of valid reasons for people to get a divorce. She said in an Idaho Statesman article after he was appointed chaplain in 2001 to the Senate here, the only difference between Fischer and Jesus Christ is that Jesus Christ doesn't think he's Bryan Fischer.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's good.
Homosexuals are morally disqualified from holding public office. Why? Because they are engaging in sexually aberrant behavior.
Your side.
None of what he says surprises me, and of course most, if not almost everything he says about homosexuality, gays, lesbians, is blatantly false, and there's lots and lots of documentation to prove that. He's using politics as a cover for a religious agenda.
If you think that there is a parallel between Islamic fundamentalism and the homosexual agenda, a vitriolic hatred of all things that are connected to the name of Christ, I'm not going to disabuse you of that notion. I think it's the same dark energy.
These are things that are designed deliberately to scare people and rile up people who already don't know enough about gay people to really critically think about whether he's really telling them the truth.
Hitler discovered that he could not get straight soldiers to be savage and brutal and vicious enough, but that homosexual soldiers basically had no limits in the savagery and brutality they were willing to inflict her. So he surrounded himself, virtually all of the stormtroopers, the brown shirts, were male homosexuals.
All of these things are false and made up. And what Bryan Fischer does is he sits on his AFA pulpit in his own personal quarry throwing stones every day and claims to be a religious man. When there's the slightest pushback, he pulls the victim card. Why they would cooperate with a gang that's out to destroy me. I mean, there is one distortion, error, lie after another in this piece. I mean, it's just amazing. By the way, Mark Potok is the head of the Southern Poverty Law Center, and we repeatedly invited him to come on this program, and he would not do it. He's a coward. He is spineless. He is a wimp. Would not do it. That makes Mark Potok a coward.
Jody, have you ever had an occasion to visit with Mr. Fischer?
Personally, I've tried several times to get in touch with him prior to publishing. I've made several calls, several emails.
Hi, this is Bryan. Leave me a message, and I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. Thanks.
Hi, Bryan. This is Jody May-Chang from Idaho. I am working on a piece for the Intelligence Report on you, and I was hoping to get an opportunity to chat with you a little bit to give you an opportunity to weigh in on this piece. I've got a number of questions I would like to ask you. If you could call me back at your earliest convenience, I'd appreciate it. It is 208, and let me know when would be a good time to talk. I am on deadline, so I would like to give you an opportunity to weigh in. Thanks so much for your time. Talk to you later. Bye. He had ample opportunity to respond and weigh in. I wanted his input, and he didn't give it, so...
What's your, for lack of a better word, agenda here?
I don't really have an agenda other than to illuminate what I believe is a personality of a well-educated fraud and pious bully. I mean, he has dehumanized and scapegoated LGBT people, causing a great deal of pain here in Idaho and now, of course, across the country with falsehoods and demeaning statements that really perpetuate violence too. Again, I'll say this over and over again. I don't object to him having those belief systems. I don't want to throw him in jail. I don't want to do all the things that he accuses our community of wanting to do to him. We just want to feel safe, have the same civil liberties and the same civil rights that he has, And if he's going to say stuff like that that's going to perpetuate hate crimes and violence against us, well, then somebody needs to stand up and say, stop. That is just enough.
He's a coward. He is spineless. He is a wimp. Would not do it. That makes Mark Potok a coward.
I'm sure that the majority of your audience who are true Christians would not see that as a Christ-like response to something that he objects to.